वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit saved. Text 30 onwards. So Queen Kunti further is praying, Janma karma cha vishvatman ajasya karturatmana tiryang rishishu yadasu tadati antavidambanam. So Queen Kunti is saying, of course it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work though you are inactive, and that you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. So Queen Kunti is saying this is very bewildering about your pastimes. She is bewildered because she knows about Krishna's pastimes. Those who don't know, they think they know everything and they are not surprised what Krishna does. But the devotees, they get surprised. Because she knows about Krishna. She's saying, O soul of the universe, you work though you are inactive. You take birth, but you are unborn. How is it possible? So that is the Supreme Lord. He can do everything. There's no problem. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord are not only bewildering, but also apparently contradictory. In other words, they are all inconceivable to the limited thinking power of the human being. The Lord is all prevailing, supersoul of all existence, and yet he appears in the form of boar among the animals, in the form of human beings such as Ram, Krishna, etc., in the form of Rishi like Narayan, and in the form of aquatic like a fish. Yet it is said that he is unborn and he has nothing to do. He is unborn, he is Aja, but he still appears. He appears to have his pastimes with his devotees. In the Shruti mantra, it is said that the Supreme Brahman has nothing to do. No one is equal to or greater than him. He has manifold energies, and everything is performed by him perfectly by automatic knowledge, strength, and activity. All these statements prove without a question that the Lord's activities, forms, and deeds are all inconceivable to our limited thinking power. And because he is inconceivably powerful, everything is possible in him. So he can do anything without doing anything. Therefore, no one can calculate him exactly. Every action of the Lord is bewildering to the common man. He cannot be understood by the Vedic knowledge, but he can be easily understood by the pure devotees because they are intimately related with him. The devotees, therefore, know that although he appears amongst the animals, he is not an animal, nor a man, nor a rishi, nor a fish. He is eternally the Supreme Lord in all circumstances. So that is the beauty of Krishna. Although he appears in the form of a fish to have pastime with King Satyavrat, or he appeared as boar incarnation, Varadev, who he appeared as half man, half lion. But he's in the originality, he's none of these. Although he appears in them like them, so he is they're also eternal forms. But even though he appears as a fish or a boar or half man, half lion, he's still the Supreme Lord. There's no doubt about it. So only devotees can understand that. Only devotees can conceive of that. Gopya dade tvai kritagasi damatavad yate dashashru kalil lanjan sambhramaksham vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanya stitasya samam vimohayati bhirapi yad vibheti. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. So Kunti Devi is saying, is she's talking about that Yashoda Damodar Leela. Actually, when Krishna was bound up by Yashoda Maya, then Queen Kunti, she's Bua of Krishna. She happened to come over there and she saw everything by her own eyes. So let's see what Prabhupada is writing. Here is another example of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is a supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the supreme and at the same time a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. He is a supreme, but he is same time a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. He plays in the hands of his pure devotee exactly as a little boy or exactly the way they want him to play. Then he forgets he is the supreme Lord. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only. And while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotees more relishably when the service is rendered spontaneously out of pure affection, without anything of reverential admiration. So, this is what Krishna likes when the devotees render service to him out of pure affection, out of pure love, spontaneously they render service, rather than out of reverential admiration, rather than out of respect. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by the devotees in a reverential attitude. But the Lord is meticulously pleased when the devotee, out of pure affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. Because Krishna himself doesn't like all the devotees coming. Of course, for us, we have to approach him like that, but he doesn't like when the devotees come and they pay obeisances unto him and they pray to him, Lord, give me this, give me that. He wants pure love. He wants that loving reciprocation. The Lord's pastimes in the original abode of Golok Vrindavan are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna consider him one of them. They do not consider him to be of reverential importance. So the friends of Krishna, they consider him as one of them. They don't tell Krishna, oh, you're the Supreme Lord, whatever you say, we'll follow, and this and that. They never do that. Not in Golok Vrindavan. And in fact, many times, because Krishna and Balram, they always make two separate parties, opposing parties, and devotee and the cowherd boys, they join, some of them they join Krishna, some of them join Balram. But those who are on the side of Balram, they always see Krishna is cheating in the games. And then they complain and they fight and they tell Krishna, we are not going to let you play with us anymore because you're such a cheat. They don't they don't treat him as a supreme personality of Godhead. For them, he's just their Krishna. And Krishna enjoys that. Of course, then there is fight breaks out, and a whole lot of stuff goes on. But he enjoys that. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisements of the parents more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more palatably than the Vedic hymns. When Lord Krishna was present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental realm of Golok Vrindavan as an attraction for the people in general, he displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother Yashoda. So Prabhupada is coming to that. Damodar Leela. The Lord, in his naturally childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stock butter of Mother Yashoda by breaking the pots and distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, including the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan. who took advantage of the Lord's munificence. Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of her pure love, she wanted to make a show of punishment for her transcendental child. She took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as is generally done in the ordinary household. Seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep just like a child, and tears rolled down his cheeks, washing off the black ointment smeared about his beautiful eyes. This picture of the Lord is absorbed, adored by Kunti Devi because she is conscious of the Lord's supreme position. So this is a Damodar Leela. What had happened when Krishna used to go and steal butter and yogurt from all the gopis' houses in Vraj. So they all used to come and complain to Mother Yashoda. But their complaint was actually out of love. They were not complaining out of real, like, we lost our butter and yogurt. That's why they were coming to complain. But Yashoda Maya, she took it seriously. And she would argue with them. I have 900,000 cows. You have few cows, and my cows are much better than your cows. How come you coming and complaining, then Krishna comes and steals your yogurt and butter? It's not possible. But when so many gopis came to complain, then Yashoda Maya took it seriously. So she had so many cows. Out of all these 900,000 cows, few cows were very, very special. They used to give milk of the fragrance of lotus flowers. So Padma Gandha milk. So Yashoda Maya fed all those cows special grass, and she got the milk out of those cows. And then that day, she herself was making the butter. But first, she made the yogurt out of that milk, and from the yogurt, she was churning the butter. And that day was the day of Diwali, which we celebrate as Diwali. And actually, that day, all the maid servants of Yashoda Maiya's house, they were on leave because it was Diwali. They had to go home and perform their puja at their houses. And Yashoda Maya also thought that these maids might not be making the best butter. That's why Krishna runs away to other gopis. So I'll make the butter myself. So early morning time, she was making the butter. Krishna was sleeping. And then Krishna woke up because she heard all this noise of churning of butter or churning of yogurt. And he got up. And when he got up, he was very hungry. So he got up and he came towards Mother Yashoda. And then first he held that churning rod, giving the signal to Yashoda Maya that stop it now, because it's time for me to be fed. And then he got on the lap of Mother Yashoda and started sucking the milk from her breasts. Yashoda Maya was very sweetly, very lovingly, she was feeding Krishna. But she had kept this milk on the pot in the pot on stove in the kitchen. So that milk started to boil. So Mother Yashoda, she put Krishna down and she ran to save that milk. Now this pastime, actually this Damodar Leela pastime is very detailed, and so many aspects are explained by different acharyas. Why did Krishna stop that churning rod from churning the yogurt into butter? Because the churning rod, actually everything in Golok Vrindavan is conscious. Everything. Churning rod is conscious, rope is conscious, the pot is conscious, everything, everybody is conscious. So actually the churning rod and the rope, they were getting proud that today Krishna is going to enjoy the butter that is going to come out of our service. So they were getting very proud. So Krishna, when he got up, he stopped the churning. So to smash their pride. Okay. Then Mother Yashoda, she went inside the kitchen running to keep the milk from boiling over. Actually, that milk in the pot that was on the stove, the now milk is also conscious. When the milk saw Krishna is drinking the milk from the breast of Mother Yashoda, then that milk thought there's no point in me living because Krishna is not going to drink me anymore. Krishna will be fully satisfied by drinking the milk of Mother Yashoda. And I cannot compete with the milk of Mother Yashoda. So that milk thought, let me overflow and commit suicide by falling in the fire. Of course, in spiritual world, nobody can die, but that was the thought. So Mother Yashoda, she put Krishna down and ran to to save that milk. Now Acharyas also commented on that was feeding Krishna, was saving that milk from boiling over more important than feeding Krishna? Then they themselves answer, yes, because that milk was also going to be used in the service of Krishna. So it was important to save that milk. So, okay. So now Krishna here, he thought, I left the whole spiritual world to come here. And I am hungry. And I left all the Lakshmis who used to feed me. And here I am hungry. And this mother of mine, she left me here hungry. And she's running to save that milk. This is not right. And he got angry. So when he got angry, he saw this pot of yogurt. So he looked around. He saw the rock that they used to grind the spices with. So he picked up that rock and he hit that pot. And the yogurt was all over the floor, and whatever butter was on the top, he picked up that butter and he ran towards the other room. And when he ran, his little feet impressions were made on the yogurt that was on the floor. So Mother Yashoda, meanwhile, she came back after saving that milk in the kitchen. And then she saw the pot was broken. And then she looked around and Krishna wasn't there. Krishna's little feet impressions were there on the yogurt, indicating which room he has gone to. And then she understood it is Krishna who has done it. So she went after him. And there, when she came to the other room, what did she see? What did she see? She saw Krishna was hanging on the rafter. I mean, he took this mortar and he put it upside down and he got on it and there was another part of yogurt hanging from the rafter, and he was putting his hand inside that pot, and he was feeding the monkeys, all the monkeys who gathered around, he was feeding them fresh butter from that pot. And Mother Yashoda got so angry. I mean, first you broke the pot, then you ran away, and then you want to eat the yogurt here and butter here. And instead of you eating, you're feeding all the monkeys. She said, I'm churning the yogurt for butter out for the monkeys. This is not doing. So she looked around, she saw a stick. And she grabbed onto that stick. And then Krishna, although he was feeding the monkeys, but he knew he's being mischievous, he was looking around, and corner of his eye, he saw Mother Yashoda approaching. And then he just jumped from that mortar and he started running. And Yashoda Maya was so angry that time. And she started running after him with the stick in her hand. So when she was running, Krishna is running ahead. Now she was wearing some flowers in her hair. Now the flowers are also conscious. So the flowers, they just fell down on the ground. So actually what had happened, Acharyas again explained, some flowers were on Krishna's side and some of those flowers were on Yashoda's side. So those on Krishna's side, the flowers thought, we cannot be seen with this mother because she's going to catch Krishna and she's going to beat him up. So if we are seen with Yashoda, that'll be very injustice to Krishna. So they fell down. They said, we cannot be with Yashoda Maya in this crime. And the flowers who were on Yashoda's side, they thought, now because of our weight, maybe Yashoda Maya cannot run fast enough. So let us fall down, let us jump from her hair, so she becomes lighter and she can catch Krishna very soon. So anyway, so Yashoda Maya was running after Krishna, and Krishna was running all over in the courtyard. And after a while, Krishna, when he saw Mother Yashoda was getting tired, she himself let her caught him. Acharyas have explained even big yogis cannot catch hold of Krishna, but because they don't approach him with love, as much love as Yashoda has. So because of her love for him, he let her catch him. Now she's holding on to him, and she is still showing him the stick. And then Krishna started to cry. Crying was in the sense, it was like if a criminal commits a crime, and in the court, when the judge asks, "Have you committed the crime?" If he pleads guilty, then the punishment is little less severe than if he pleads, "I'm not guilty," and if he is proven to be guilty. So Krishna pleaded guilty. Okay, I did it, but first you put down that stick. Now there, this is what Queen Kunti saw. Well, not at the time when Yashoda Maya was chastising, but when Krishna was bound. So that he was really scared. He was really afraid of the stick in the hand of Mother Yashoda. He wasn't acting like he's scared. He was really scared. Why? Because this is what makes a pastime more sweet. If he was acting, it won't bring out all the emotions in the heart of Mother Yashoda out. So anyway, he started crying, and he was pointing at the stick. Please put that stick down. Please don't beat me up. Put that stick down. So Yashoda Mai, when she saw he's really afraid, so she put the stick down, but she was still angry. And then she thought, because there was no maid in the house, so I still have to take care of the household work. And this boy, he's first of all is very restless, he's very mischievous, very naughty, and right now he's very afraid. So he might run away to some other place. So she said, I have to bind you up. And then she found the right thing was that mortar, because he was standing on the mortar to feed all the monkeys. So she got that mortar out, and then she was to hold her braid in place. She had little rope. So she took that rope and she tried to bind Krishna, but the rope was 2 fingers too short. Okay, then she got all the rope in her house, and then tying it up, she made a big rope. And then again, when she was trying to bind Krishna, it was 2 fingers too short. Again, Krishna was the same size. He didn't make his size bigger. By that time, so many gopis, the elder gopis, they had come around, and they was looking at what is happening. And they were saying, Yashoda Maya, just leave it today, because he looks like he doesn't want to get bound. And Yashoda Maya was still angry. How come? So she ordered all these gopis, bring the ropes from your houses. So every gopi brought all the rope from their homes. And then when Mother Yashoda tied all the ropes together, made a big rope, and then again when she was trying to bind Krishna, it was 2 fingers too short. Still. And then she got frustrated. What is this happening? So acharyas have explained these 2 fingers too short means to do any activity, to be successful in any activity, whether it's devotional or otherwise, we need 2 things. One is our effort, and the other is the mercy of Krishna. So that represents 2 fingers. But then when Krishna saw that Yashoda Maya was getting frustrated, and she was sweating, then Krishna just allowed himself to be bound by Yashoda Maya. And then Yashodamaya bound him up with a mortar and she went inside to do rest of the stuff, take care of the house. And Krishna was, and now by that time all the cowherd boys had also come, his friends had come to see what is happening. So Krishna was looking at them and laughing, but then he was looking inside the house where Yashoda was and he was crying. It was again very funny scene going on. And then Balramji appeared, Balramji came and he saw Krishna bound up with the mortar like that. So he started angrily. He started yelling, "Who has bound him up? Free him right now! Otherwise, I'll burn up the whole universe." He was really in the mood of Sankarshan. So Yashoda Maya heard all this and she came out. She said, "Why? What is wrong? I bound him up. Why? What's the problem?" Balramji said, "You untie him right now. You don't know who Krishna is. He is the one who came as Parashuram. He is the one who came as Narsimha. He is the one who came as Ram and killed Ravan. He is the one who came as Varahadev. You untie him right now." And Yashoda Maya, she got more angry at Balram. She picked up that stick again that she threatened Krishna with. And then she told Balram, "Yeah, all the incarnations had to take birth in my house only." Balram was telling, "You untie him, otherwise I'll burn up the whole universe." She said, "If you don't run away from here, I'll also beat you up and tie you up. You get out of here." And Balramji ran away from there. She said, yeah, then going away, he told Krishna, "See, I told you so many times, don't be so naughty, don't steal butter and yogurt. So many times I told you, but you don't listen. Now you're bound up. I cannot do anything. Yashoda Maya bound you up. I cannot free you up." Then Yashoda Maya went inside and Krishna was still bound. And none of the cowherd boys had the guts to untie Krishna because they were all afraid of Yashoda. And then we don't know the story how Krishna went and he liberated Nalkuvar and Manigriv, the sons of Kubera, who were standing as trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And then when the trees fell down, they made a big sound, and Krishna was still between those trees. Nanda Baba came running. Well, so many Gopas went, and they said, "Oh, there's been a big thing happened in your house, and the trees fell down. Krishna is saved." So he came running, and he saw Krishna with the still tied up to the mortar between those trees. And he came and he untied Krishna, picked him up. So again, the acharyas have explained so many things here. They said Krishna is strong, and the mortar, that stone mortar, and if you go to Gokul, we can still see the some part of that mortar. That is strong, but the rope is not that strong. Rope is very weak. And those Arjun trees, they were standing there for 100 celestial years. So when Krishna crawled between those trees and the mortar got stuck between the trees, and when Krishna pulled, Krishna just yanked a little and the trees fell down. But this rope was weak. How come the rope didn't break up? Because the trees were strong, the roots are very strong of Arjun trees, and the mortar was strong, it is made of stone. And Krishna, obviously, he is strong, but the rope is very weak. So how come the rope didn't break? So other acharyas have explained, because the rope was attached to Krishna, it had all the strength of Krishna. So that's why the rope did not break. And moreover, obviously, the rope was tied by Yashoda Maya, and it had the strength of Yashoda Maya also. So there was no way the rope was going to break. So this is also for us to understand that we might be weak. Oh, in fact, we are weak in our devotional service, in our following the rules, in our studies, in our chanting, everything, in our preaching. We are very weak. But if we are connected with Srila Prabhupada through his books, through his teachings, through his instructions, and then when we go out and preach and to do other services, we become successful because we are connected with Srila Prabhupada. So that's our strength. We get the strength from Srila Prabhupada. That's why we might not be big preachers, we might not have big knowledge of scriptures, but many times when we preach, so many things come out of our mouth that we have never even read of, because Prabhupada helps us. Okay, so when Nanda Baba came and then he picked up Krishna, he untied Krishna. So then it is explained, um, Balramji and other cowherd boys or other gopas, gopis, they could not untie Krishna. But Nand Maharaj is in the same mood as Mother Yashoda, so he could untie Krishna. And and then then Yashoda Mai also came running out when he heard all those trees falling, and Krishna was in the hands of in the lap of Nand Maharaj, and Nand Maharaj started chastising Yashoda Maya. Why did you bind him up like this? Who does that? And Krishna was also complaining. See, she bound me up. She did this to me. She did that to me. And Nanda Baba said, okay, so you don't want to go to Yashoda? He said, no, I don't want to go to Yashoda. Where are you going to sleep? I'll sleep with Mother Rohini. Who will feed you? Oh, Rohini will feed me. Then Nand Baba he was acting. He said, okay, then let me beat up Yashoda. And he just he just raised his hand, and Krishna just grabbed his hand. No, 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 you don't beat up Yashoda. And he went to the lap of Yashoda Maya, and the Damodar Leela ended there. It's a very beautiful pastime. Of course, I said in a short version, maybe in month of Kartik we can discuss in more detail. So this pastime shows how much love Yashoda has for Krishna, and even Krishna reciprocates completely with her in that love. And Queen Kunti was bewildered. Why is Krishna afraid? Krishna is, I mean, even the fear personified is afraid of Krishna. And Krishna was afraid of the stick in the hands of Mother Yashoda. This is his love for his mother, and in fact for all his devotees. Hare Krishna. I think I went over time. Thank you all very much. Any question or comment?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this wonderful Leela that you have told. Had it been that you would have half said it and closed the class, it would have been unfair. So thank you for telling it so wonderfully.
Thank you, Mata.
Actually, it was very nice class and very nice Leela.
Yeah, this Damodar Leela is the most sweet Leela of Krishna. Any comment or question, Archana Mataji? Oh, no.
Yeah, was full of Vatsalyaras. Full of.
Yes, Dipanshu Prabhu.
I have a question, but that is not very related to this today's story. I just wanted to know why people say that all the avatars, what do you say, like Narasimha avatar, are avatars of Vishnu, not than Krishna. Why?
I lost you. All the avatars afterward I didn't hear.
I'm saying that people say that the Narasimha avatar, the Ram avatar, everything is a avatar of Vishnu rather than Krishna. Why it is? Although we know that.
Well, actually, all these avatars, when they come to the material world to perform their pastimes, they out of respect for Kshirodaksha Vishnu, because he is in charge of this universe, they come through the body of Kshirodaksha Vishnu.
Okay.
So people, when they say all these avatars are of Vishnu, because they see only from this point onwards when they are coming from the body of Kshirodaksha Vishnu. But behind that, they're coming from their all planets in the spiritual world. That they don't know. Okay. So thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day. Thinking of this Damodar Leela, special Leela. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jai Shri
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.